To welcome our club patron, Matt Thistlethwaite, member for Kingsford Smith. Amazingly, he is here, even though through a blunder of my own, he only had a few days' notice. He moved heaven and earth to get here, and we are very thankful. A huge thank you goes to our returning and our new sponsors. Halcon Group, OK Developments, Warrington Scott, Carbiz, Pengana Funds Management, Clearview, Aquila Super, GMP, and BT. After players and coaches, sponsors are the next most important group. They allow us the freedom to add all the extra services that make this club what it is. Without them, we would not be able to employ the coaches that we do. So thank you. This launch is a night of promise and optimism. A night that sees us administrators finally start to focus on what really matters, the players and the games. Last year the club did amazingly well. In our first year in Premier League One, we came 5th and came within a whisker of creating history by coming 4th. After 14 rounds and 294 points being on offer, we missed out on coming 4th by 3 points, 1 game. This year, we're hoping to do even better. Tonight gives us time to celebrate our club heroes, their vision, their selflessness, and their contribution. We are so lucky to have 2 of these people here today. These people were instrumental in setting up our club. Actually, we've only got one. One couldn't make it, and I actually have 2 speeches in case one didn't make it. But I got an email from the one who can't be here, and he's decided to set up a scholarship for one of our players who's going to be going to university. And I figure if he's going to be so nice to us, we should at least sort of talk about it. But the first one, could I have Gareth Niles stand up? It's taken me 6 years to get this guy here. Gareth started playing for Maccabi Futsal before there was even a Maccabi Futsal club. In 1998, we represented Australia on a tour to Canada. In 2004, a group of players took over the Sydney City Eagles team so that they could play and train together. In 2006, along with John Myers, he was one of the founding players of the Maccabi Futsal Club. He has been to 3 Maccabea games. They're the Jewish Olympics. He's coached the under-14s, the under-16s, and the youth team for New South Wales at the Australian Championship. In 2016, he won a Premier League Division 1 Coach of the Year award, though I will note not for us. That was in 2011, he was the coach for every team of the club. That was great until one weekend he got sent off on the first game and couldn't coach for the rest of the day. He's been a player, a coach, a manager, and the president of the club. This club would not exist if it was not for Gareth, and we have a round of applause, please. This one, thank you, Gareth. You have to imagine that another guy standing up called John Myers. He's not here. Like Gareth, John was instrumental in setting up the Hakoah Club. He was a brilliant goalkeeper, and in 2005 he took the Australian team to Maccabea, and they lost. On his return, he set up the club, and for the next 4 years they trained hard, and in 2009 he took the Australian Maccabea team to Israel, and he lost. If at first you don't succeed, try something different. This time he brought in Australian coaches and Australian players to strengthen the men's squad. A lesson that I have learned, that it doesn't matter where your good ideas come from, so long as they're good. And bringing in great coaches is a good idea. With all the coaches and the players, they improved. And in the next 4 years, they won their New South Wales competition. They won the inaugural F-League competition. They flew to New Zealand and became New Zealand champions. They flew to Europe and became European champions. John was the president of the club, and he created the best Hakoah Maccabi team in any sport in the history of Australia. With all this experience and momentum, they went back in 2013 to Maccabea, and they lost. Winning the big one will be for someone in the future, maybe in 2021. But without John, his drive and his passion, we would not be here. And John is still involved in the club as the club's major sponsor. He owns and runs Halkin, which you will see later, is on the front of all of our shirts. Now, when I was asked to take over the role of president in 2013, I was told, one, it was not a lot of work, and two, that it would be a temporary job. 6 years later, and not a few hours later, we find ourselves at this point. And it's worth reflecting on the decisions that got us here. And I can quite proudly say that one decision that I made was key. I decided that our point of difference in respect of all other clubs would be the quality of our coaches. Thank you there, Mr. John, for teaching me that. Every year since I became president, we have improved our coaching, either by education or by recruitment. And this year, with one notable exception, I can say that we have stepped up again. Now, I knew the club was heading in the right direction when a competitor president rang to tell me that whilst other clubs had 1 or 2 great coaches, Hakoah had 6. He said that we've managed to put together the strongest coaching team in Australia. And I have to say I was a little chuffed at that. So let me introduce our coaches to you. Coaching our under 7 and our under 9 boys, we have Rafiq Hassim. Unfortunately, he is coaching at the Wanderers as we speak, but he has been to 2 World Futsal Cups representing South Africa. He has played professionally all over the world and is presently the strength and conditioning coach for the Wanderers youth teams. Could I have Tony Sharp in her glory please stand up? This is how good coaches come. Our under 10 boys are very fortunate to have one of the best young coaches in New South Wales. She has represented Australia at the Maccabea Games. She has played in the F League. She has represented New South Wales in the Australian Championship. She has coached New South Wales at the Australian Championships. She has also won the Most Valuable Player Award for Hakoah in every single year bar one that she played for us. I have seen her coach, and you Kens are in for a treat. Thank you. And Steve is enough to stand up. So, Steve has already won the hardest working coach in the club award, and we haven't even started. He is coaching 4 teams this year. He's coaching the under 11s, the under 12s, the under 14s, and the under 16s. Now, some might say that his best feature is his booming voice that can fill all sorts. Others might say that it's the fact that he has 2 futsal playing kids who are brilliant. I just look at how he coaches. He won the best coach in Premier League 1 in 2017. And I asked the parents of his team to look at their kids' first session, then look at the kids' last session that he does, and look at the improvement. You will be amazed. Unfortunately, Robbie Ezekiel, the brilliant youth coach from last year and previous years, last year's club captains, winner of a silver medal at Maccabea, and all-round great guy, will not be coaching. This is a loss. However, we have filled his spot with a coach that I think will be great. I'm not sure, is Christian Suarez here? If not, I'll just tell you about him. What can you say about Brazilians and futsal? If you look up futsal in the dictionary, there is actually a photo of Christian Suarez. The team he coached last year won the Open Men's competition, beating the Juroroos, a team stacked with Australian players and coached by the Australian coach. He is the technical director of Dunbar Rovers. He has coached at Sydney FC, Fraser Park, Enfield, and in Brazil. His qualifications are too numerous to mention. Let me just say again that our youth team is incredibly fortunate to have him. I know Peter, now I can't see his hair. Can you stand up? Peter is coaching the 11 boys all sorts team, the under 12 girls, and the under 13 girls. In his spare time, he coaches at the Illawarra Stingrays. He is the assistant coach to the Australian blind football team. He is the assistant technical director to the Australian deaf football team. And he has been a New South Wales coach at the National Futsal Champions for the past 6 years. Thank you very much. He's coming? All right. We'll pretend Stephen's there. This year, Stephen is coaching our under 15 girls and our under 17 girls, as well as the under 13 boys all sorts team. Those players and parents that are lucky enough to know Stephen know that he is not only a great technical coach, but he inspires the players to do well. He is so inspirational that we were thinking of getting a cardboard cutout version of him to actually inspire the other coaches. I'm not going to list all his qualifications and achievements, but he's currently the Blacktown Spartans technical director. He coached for many years the New South Wales Futsal Women's Thunder team. He has coached for the Spartans, the Koalas, at Phoenix, and the Vikings. He created history last year in winning the under 15 girls competition. No newly promoted coach has ever won a competition, no newly promoted club has ever won a competition in its first years. He is our very own Coach Whisperer. Raphael. So, at state and national level, he has toured overseas with many Australian teams. He's established various clubs and he's been technical director at various clubs. There are very few coaches in Australia with Raf's coaching experience or playing experience. Raf has played professionally at the highest level, both in Italy and Australia. So again, we are very, very lucky. Finally, we have the club's technical director and men's coach, Miles Downey. Has the following qualifications. He is the Asian Football Confederation Level 2, one of the highest qualifications in Australia, a qualification she shares with Raf. He has the AFC Fitness in Futsal Level 2, a Masters of Exercise, Sports Science, Strength and Conditioning, and a Bachelor of Exercise Science. His work has included being the elite futsal fitness instructor for the Asian Football Confederation. He's a director of sports at Wesley College. He has been mentored for 5 years under Steve Knight as the assistant Inner West men's coach. He has been the youth thunder coach for New South Wales for the last 4 years. He has been the head coach of East Coast Heat. He has also played in Australia for 12 years. He is fluent in Portuguese, English, and even speaks a bit of Crez. Wow. I think you'll all agree we've assembled a great coaching staff this year. However, not only do we have the best coaches in Australia, we have one of the best physios. Is Daniel Kerner here? Welcome back. Daniel has come back this year to ensure that our players are fully fit. He will be at most games, however he's also based in the Junction. If you need to be strapped or rubbed or stretched, or you have a rehabilitation to an injury that you need, he is your man. Finally, I'm sure everyone's happy that this is about to finish. Finally, the club's promise to the players and to the parents. It is not that we will win every game, or that we'll win a competition. Our promise is that through great coaching, you will improve. Through futsal, a team sport, you will learn some life lessons, and by the end of the season, if you put in 100%, you will have a great experience. If we, the coaches, the managers, and the administrators have managed to achieve that by the end of the year, we will have done our job. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Daniel. So now we go from being very formal to a little bit informal. I'm going to call all the coaches for the junior team to